Well, we're joined today by Henry Smith, the MP of Crawley, and we are at Three Bridges train station. So hello Henry, how are you doing?
Hello, good to see you again, Shelley.
Are you well?
I'm very well.
What do we look like? It's all for safety reasons?
No, this is how I came out this morning. This was the first thing I threw on this morning.
Tell the public a little bit why we're here today and why we're dressed up like this.
Well, why we're here today at Three Bridges Rail Yard is really a groundbreaking event for the building of a new signalling centre. Three Bridges will become the signalling and communication centre for the railways for the whole of the South East, and that's really good news because it means high quality employment coming to Crawley. But it's also good news for the travelling public because it means that the capacity of track and signalling will be increased. And in addition to that, just down the way at Three Bridges Station, Southern are putting in investments in completely revamping the station. In a year's time, it'll almost be unrecognisable. It'll be a great new customer experience, and in addition to that, they're putting in an extra 120 car parking spaces as well. So strategically for the rail network, this is really good news because it increases capacity, and locally for commuters it's good news because it will mean the travelling experience will be better, and it's great for the local economy because of employment as well. So this is a really good day for Crawley and for Three Bridges.
So they're going to actually put extra track in. Will there be more platforms?
What they're doing is they are revamping the platforms, so you'll see a change actually on Three Bridges Station, the ticketing side, and also on the platforms as well. And because the communications will be much more sophisticated, they are able to run more trains, so there'll be increased capacity in that way. And that added with the extra capacity in terms of track and signalling and platforms at Gatwick Station, £53 million of investment that's going in at the moment, means that, and also along with improvements to Crawley Station, that the experience of the travelling public from Crawley will be improved in just over a year's time.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. They've obviously, we were talking earlier, and they said they've definitely taken into consideration the members of the public here as well, people that live near here, and they've done a lot of communication with them. That's pretty good, isn't it? That they're taking into account the noise and the disruption maybe that may occur.
Exactly. I mean, obviously the rail yard has been here long before the houses have been here, and obviously this is good news for making Crawley a real transport hub, and it's good for the local economy. However, it's important that those people who do live close by, particularly in Furnace Green and Maiden Bower, aren't unduly disrupted, and Three Bridges of course as well, and therefore Network Rail have a dedicated hotline, which off the top of my head I can't remember the number of. It's 0845 something, but if anyone wants to contact me if they do have a problem, I can pass it on to Network Rail to ensure that the works that do go on here cause as little disruption as possible. And in terms of construction traffic, all of that is not using the public roads that, like Station Hill, for example, in Maiden Bower and Three Bridges. It's actually going to be using the service roads that they have coming into the rail yard. So hopefully disruption to the public while the construction phase is ongoing will be at a minimum, but if there are problems, then Network Rail want to hear about them.
And looking into the whole picture of what's going on here today, we're looking at higher levels of employment here as well, so that'll be members of our public being taken on, and obviously more economy may be coming through our town, which is all beneficial, isn't it?
It is beneficial. I mean, there's an estimate that it'll be about 3,000 jobs that will be created. Some of those are going to be highly skilled engineering jobs, which is good, but there'll be jobs across the board, and that's definitely good for the local economy. Also, the easier it is to get to Crawley, the easier it is to do business in Crawley, and therefore Crawley becomes even more of a hub, which is good, not just in terms of employment in the transport industry, but other companies that then choose to locate here because of our improved connectivity.
Yeah, well, we've come and we've seen that they're working extremely hard here to get this done as quick as possible to make it all happen.
My spade will be in the ground later on as well, so I'm going to be helping out. So.
Excellent. We'd like to thank you very much, Henry.
Always a pleasure, Shelley.
All the best.
Always a pleasure
for this project.
Always happy to speak to Crawley Happy Times.
Thank you.
All the best.
I'm now joined by Mark Ruddy. Hello, Mark. How are you, sir?
Very well. How are you?
Very well. Thank you very much for inviting us down here today to see this fantastic project.
Sure.
Tell us your position within Network Rail and what's going on here a little bit more.
Okay, so I'm lucky enough to be the managing director for the Sussex route for Network Rail, and behind us we are starting to build a brand new rail operating centre that will modernise the whole of the running of the railway for the southeast of England.
Wow. Why 3 bridges?
Good question, very good question. Of course, the Brighton Main Line is the busiest route probably in Europe. We have 10 trains per route mile of the Brighton Main Line for at any time of day, and the key focal point, centre of gravity for Brighton all the way into the centre of London is 3 bridges.
Excellent. That makes us feel pretty important, really, because obviously with Gatwick on our doorstep as well, we like to think it's part of Crawley, and 3 bridges now, that's building Crawley into something quite unique and quite awesome, really, isn't it?
Well, Crawley is a natural hub anyway for this part of the country, and it is, as I said, smack bang between the metropolis and the coast. We have growing interest in people moving to and from Brighton, and right in the middle of that is Crawley. As you say, you have the airport, so this is a natural hub, and there is a natural centre of growth, and for helping the economy is Crawley.
Any particular reason why you're doing this project now?
Yes. The growth in railway has been improving over the last decade. Right now we're about 5 to 7% increase in passenger demand year on year. If we're going to keep ahead of that curve, we need to radically modernise the railway. The railway takes a long time to fix, and nearly everything you put in the railway goes in for about 30 years, and it's expensive. So the investment has to be proportionate. We have to get that timing right. But if we are going to be able to run more longer trains through Crawley, from the coast into London and back again, we need to modernise the railway, and this is the right time to be doing it.
Excellent. You're doing a fantastic job here. It's going very fast. What's the estimated time of it being completed?
Right, well, we started construction now. The building will be finished this time next year, and within a month or so of the shell being completed, we will start to move signallers and controllers into the centre. So the first functionality here is spring of 2014. We will then grow our capacity so that we are ready to run the Thameslink trains from here by 2018. So 2018 we're committed to delivering 24 trains an hour, and to do that we need, as I said, a modern signalling system, a control centre like the one we're building here.
Yeah. Now during your build you're being pretty green, aren't you? You're being pretty friendly to the environment. Tell us a little bit about how you're doing that.
Well, we think that the railway is one of the most ecologically sound forms of transport. The population of the country, the economy, relies on people moving around, and one of the best ways to move people around is by train. It is easily the most ecologically sound ways of moving large groups of people, and we need to keep up with that demand. So we're looking at lots of systems. The building behind us will be as ecologically neutral as possible. We've done the surveys to make sure that we're not affecting the natural fauna of the area in any case. This is a brownfield site, so there wasn't a huge amount of that. When we did the ecological survey, we have moved and relocated newts, bats and snakes into a new environment. The big issue here will be that the building itself almost power neutral in terms of for heating and lighting. So we're using solar power, we're using the earth sump heating into the system, natural ventilation. We need both cooling because we've got a lot of electrical equipment in, so in order to cool it artificially cool it without air conditioning, we're having as much natural approach to both heating and cooling for the building over its life. And of course we're looking to make sure that we're moving as much as we can on the railway with electrical power, so that we're not putting as much fossil fuel into the air by using efficient electrical trains on the network.
Excellent. Well, we very much look forward to hearing the progress and seeing what goes on, hopefully in 2014. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you very much indeed. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.